Hi, fourth graders. I'm going to do a little video for you. This is 1-9, and we're going to review ungrouping with zeros, and then just ungrouping in general with subtraction in numbers up to 1,000, so 4 digits out. So let's first take a look at ungrouping with zeros. I have a couple of examples for you. I'm going to share my screen. And here we go. So I've written them out already. Ungrouping with zeros. Let's just take a look at number 1. We know that when we do subtraction, and I'm going to always check my sign to see what kind of math it is, the larger number has to be on top for subtraction. Whether these are all zeros and these are bigger digits, it doesn't matter. 8,000 is a larger number than 3,479. So the largest number in subtraction has to be on top. We also know that when we do subtraction, we start in the ones place up at the top. We don't go bottom up. That can cause some very serious errors when you're doing subtraction. So start in the ones place, start up at the top. Now, this is very simple. You're fourth graders. If you're looking at this digit, it's a 0. If I have nothing, I can't take a 9 away from nothing. So traditionally, I would go next door, but my next door neighbor has nothing, and that next door neighbor has nothing, and so I have to go all the way over to the thousands place to be able to ungroup and borrow from this 8 over here. So when I do that, I show ungrouping by crossing it out. If I'm taking 1 from those 8,000s, it will now turn into a 7,000. And now I can go back and distribute and give to these zeros appropriately. So I would give the 10 to this 0. Those are 10 10 sticks, right? Or making that 10. And then that doesn't help this guy. Remember, I'm supposed to start way over here. So now I've got some in the third neighbor over. So I can ungroup this one, changing it to a 9, and now I can give the 10 to this 0. I'm almost there, but I still haven't fulfilled the ones place yet. But now the exact next door neighbor's got 10, which means I can ungroup. When I take 1 away from this 10, it turns into a 9, and now I can give the 10 back to this 0, making it a 10. Looks like I'm pretty set. Now I can start my subtraction. 10 minus 9, of course, is 1. 9 minus 7 is 2. This should be pretty easy for you. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 7 minus 3 is 4. 1, 2, 3, comma. So my answer should be 4,521. All right, let's try another one. This should be a bit of a review. That's why I'm going over it fairly quickly, and I'm going to have you all practice by yourselves today. Okay, so our next one, this one says 4,000 minus 1,056. Again, in subtraction, the largest number must be on the top. Okay, so I've checked my sign. It's subtraction. My big number's on the top. I start in the ones place, and I look at the top first. Again, if I have 0, I have nothing. I can't possibly take 6 away from nothing. How do I get more? I've got to go looking to my neighbors. None of my next door neighbors have them, but I'm going to go way over out to the 4 because that's the first digit I see that has some extras. So I'm going to ungroup. When I take 1 from the 4, it now changes into a 3, and I can start my process. He'll give 10 to that 0. But remember, I have to start over in the ones place. So I'm going to need to keep ungrouping until I can get enough to do the subtraction in the ones place. Okay, so now this one will ungroup, turning it into a 9. It's going to give the 10 to this place. Still not over in the ones place yet, but now the next door neighbor has 10. So I'll ungroup, changing this into a 9 because I took 1 from it, and then I give the 10 to this 0, and 10 plus 0 is 10. I look like I'm set, so now I'm ready to subtract. This is the fun part. 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 0 is 9. And 3 minus 1 is 2. 1, 2, 3, comma, 2,944. Okay, so that's a quick little review of ungrouping with zeros. Now let's take a look, just a quick review of regular ungrouping when it's not always zeros. Okay, so we'll make a couple of equations. 8,126 minus 2,753. Okay, I'll push this up a little bit. All right. Clearly, the larger number is on the top. I've already checked my sign. I know that I'm doing subtraction. I'm going to start in the ones place, and I'm going to start at the top. I always want to go top down, right? The top number, then I take the bottom number from the top number. All right, ones place. 6 minus 3. Wow, I can do it. Easy peasy. I move on to the tens place. I've got 2. I want to take 5 away. I don't have enough. This is where I'm going to need to ungroup. My neighbor does have 1, so I'm going to take it. I'll ungroup by crossing it off, and if I take that 1 away, the 1 turns into a 0. But I'm giving 10 to the 2, so 10 plus 2 is 12. Now I can do this math. 12 minus 5 is 7. Moving on, the hundreds place. Now I'm left with 0 in the hundreds place. I can't take 7 from nothing, so my neighbor's got 8. I'll ungroup. When I take 1 from the 8, I turn it into a 7, and I can give 10 to this 0. 10 plus 0 is 10, and now I can do the math. 10 minus 7 is 3. 7 minus 2 is 5. 1, 2, 3, comma, 5,373. All right, let's practice one more, then I'm going to release you to practice on your own. All right, here we go. 5,023 minus 899. Okay, a little bit different. I made sure that I lined my places up nice and neat. The bottom number is clearly smaller. It only has 3 digits. So I knew that I had to line the ones, tens, and hundreds up. The top number clearly bigger because it has a digit in the thousands place. All right, I already know I'm doing subtraction, starting in the ones place, and I'm going to start on the top. I have 3. I can't take 9 from 3. That's not enough. My neighbor has 2 though, so I can ungroup that. I'm going to take from that 2. So I'll go cross it off. If I take 1 away, the 2 is now a 1, and I give 10 more to the 3. 10 and 3 is 13. I can now do the ones place. 13 minus 9 is 4. Moving on, if I have 1, I cannot take 9 from 1. It's not enough. Ooh, my neighbor's a 0. Remember, I have to go to the digit that I can take from. The 5 is who I will ungroup from. So I'll cross it off to show that. When I take 1, it turns into a 4. Then I'm giving 10 back to the 0. 10 plus 0 is 10. Remember, I've got to complete the tens place though, because I couldn't take 9 from 1. Now my neighbor's got some. I can ungroup this 10. When I take 1 from it, it is now a 9. I give 10 more to this 1. 1 plus 10 is 11. Now I can do the math. 11 minus 9 is 2. 9 minus 8 is 1. 4 minus 0 is 4. 1, 2, 3, comma, 4,124. All right, fourth graders, I hope that review was simple and painless. I hope it made sense to you. You are now, for your next task, going to be working on 2 pages of subtraction with ungrouping. We'll correct it in Zoom this morning. Have fun.